It's got the new ground sprayed. Yeah, you know, it's got some rough spots in it. Back to mid-10, y'all. Working on the old 3500 again. Problem this time, wheel bearing. You can see she shot. So I have I done got her apart, put back, almost all the way put back together. Went ahead and put new brake pads on it. Old brake pads were pretty short. So, new unit bearing, new pads, already bled brakes off. I just got to put the adapter hub back on for the dually wheel. So, for y'all that don't know, on these, I got some smudge on the camera. Alright, so for y'all that don't know, the difference between a 3/4 ton Dodge front axle and a dually, well, a 3/4 ton / ton single wheel front end and a dually front end is this adapter. So that just makes it stick out that much more. That way you can run the dished wheels. That's the only difference. So we're gonna get that back on and get going. Show you a little trick. So you gotta tighten these bolts up. So you can use a crow foot to do it. Works pretty good. You can use a ratchet wrench. Works even better. But you gotta make sure you get them torqued down. Well, you can see the whole thing tries to spin. So take your lug nuts and run them all the way up, do 4 of them. Take you a bigger pry bar, stick up in here like this, right? Take one lug, they gotta be the big shoulder lugs. Snug it up, just hand tight. That's gonna keep your pry bar from falling off. And then you just turn it till it touches the floor. And now when you torque on it, it don't spin. Just a little tip for y'all that work on these 3500s. Now, there is a tool that's made to slide over this lug and do the same thing, but it's got 2 little spots that slide over this and slide over that and does like this. That way you don't damage your threads. Now, yeah, you could just set that pry bar up there and turn it, but without it being on the lug nuts like it is here and right here, and they got these other 2 holding on, it'll damage your threads. And then you're gonna have to punch out lugs, and that's a whole big hassle you don't have to deal with. And you tighten this thing up just like you would a rim. You gotta go around, go corner to corner. And we'll probably go ahead and put brake pads on the other side since it's set number 2. So if you see your caliper, it's out. And that's cause the old blades there are a lot thinner than the new blade or new pads. So a little trick is block of wood up on the clamp, and a C-clamp. And these pads are going to be, this caliper is going to be re-bled. And sometimes you can squish them down without having to release the bleed valve, but this is not going to work like that. And it's okay, because we are going to re-bleed these brakes. while the fluid's still going out. Tighten up your bleed valve. And it shouldn't suck too much air back into it. Well, we're gonna rebleed them. I do have my one-man bleeding tool, which makes things a lot easier. Now it'll go in right there. We go. I was just doing it wrong. Imagine that. Me doing something wrong. Never happens. I do get stinking grease on my face though. Y'all might be wondering why I'm doing this again. So, Dad got home yesterday evening, and he called me and said, "Hey, my ABS light's on, and my front left wheel is making noise." He's like, "I think my brake pads are shot." And he's telling me they needed to use the truck this evening. He needs to use it. So we didn't have time to take it to a mechanic and let them worry with it. So I was like, yeah, I can put brake pads on that truck, no big deal. Well, as soon as I jacked the front end up on that side, the tire was like this, and it dipped in. It went whoop, just like that. Leaned out the top, dipped in the bottom. I was like, oh man, that's a wheel burn. And yeah, I've changed wheel burns before. I don't care much for these unit burn things. I don't care much for them at all. They used to be a lot simpler when you could take your burns out once a year and repack them and put them back in there and they'd last, you know. Well, my little work truck, that little F-150's like that. You can pull the front burns out and repack them. See, when's the last time I put burns in front of that truck? Maybe 15 years ago, maybe longer than that. It's been a while. But that's one of the reasons that a lot of folks want to go to the unit burns, because you can't service them. They go out and you change them. So to bleed this, got the little vacuum hand pump. You can see it's got a little bit of fluid forward to the other side. So you just hook it up, put this hose on, I'll show you. Put this hose on your bleed valve, just get her up there. You can go ahead and start pulling a vacuum. You'll see the gauge start running up. As long as the gauge stays still, that means you got a tight seal. So you run it up to however many pounds you want to do. Get it up there. Oop, hit the wrong button. So we'll set that like right there. We'll go over here, we'll hit the, you start seeing the fluid come out. You notice that the pressure is slowly dropping. Lock it off again and just redo it. Got her back together, about to give her a spin down the road. See how the brakes are, see if we need to bleed them anymore or not. I'll say one thing, these little wet wipes, don't matter what brand they are. I've used, like, that's a Tubo towels. I've used meal wipes. I think Gojo makes some. There's a slew of them. But man, they do a pretty good job getting your hands clean for what they are. I mean, I keep a thing of them in the work truck / service truck. That way, when we're out in the field working on stuff, we can at least get our hands clean. There's nothing like not getting it to eat all your sandwich because you got greasy fingerprints on one side of it. But I'll catch back up y'all in just a minute. Well, well, we run down the road and brakes work. Even right here in the gravel driveway, I got up a little bit of speed. I hit the brakes really hard. All four of them lock up. That's good. So I got to pick my tools up in the shop, and we'll go spray some corn ground. Let the rollers burn down. Just getting set up. I know yesterday this thing gave me a flip. Come to find out that I had well, my screens and my tips were plugging up. So I finally pulled all the screens out of my tips and I'm running like that. What I think my problem is I have some residue buildup in the spray lines, and it just needs to be cleaned out. So I got to run without my screens and my tips. I still got my screens, my main screens, and we got finished where we started this morning, and now we have moved over to some new ground. So if you see right behind me, through that fence road, we farmed the other side of that fence road at the bottom of the hill. And this farm, like a lot of properties here in the last 2 years, has sold. So somebody else owns it, and they were looking for somebody to farm it. They had a person cutting half of it. Like a lot of folks, they have noticed the high price of grain and decided that they'd be better off renting it out. So here I am. It's I don't know how many acres it is. We're gonna find out. We're gonna run it real quick and see what we can do. You know, so we're gonna get going. Let's get the new ground sprayed. Yeah, you know, it's got some rough spots in it that we can't smooth out. I'm gonna show you one. See the hole right there, my finger's pointing out. That is where the landowner owns it now. That's where he said the previous landowner let Amish deer hunt here, and they dug a hole and poured a bunch of mineral in it for the deer to eat. I mean, so there's a hole there. There's that hole. There's a few stump holes in the other field. There's a few stump holes back up that way. We can do something with it, but it's not as much acres as they thought it was. Once I have to leave some waterways in. You know, if it wasn't for the fact that this was right beside some stuff we're already farming, wouldn't fool with it. But like I said, the other field, the next fence row over, we farm right there. So we're already here, and we'll give it a go. Hopefully it works out. Coming up on our last field of the day. Got this front sprayed off. He's up there on top of the hill. Just got that sprayed off. Now we're going back for the scalp. Spray the last little dab, and then head home. It'll be supper time by the time I get there. Looks like everything got plenty of water in it still. Yeah, Bill's got some water in it. Got to change the battery, he died again. Just getting set up to get this last field in. As wet as green as it's been, I would say we're probably still at least 2 weeks out on that. Which today is like 20 April, I think it's right. So that does happen. That's going to put us in the May platform. We haven't planted corn in May in a long time, but we'll make it work. And they're saying it's supposed to dry off for 2 weeks. Hopefully it does, and a lot of this water will get away, drain off the field anyways. And there's some farms that we go ahead and start to plant that aren't wet. And the wet spots on them, probably just have to drive around them, and you can come back later and plant them then. We've had to do that before. It's kind of a pain, you know. That's what we might have to do. We plant what's not wet, get some wet spots, let up to them, stop, go around them, and then come back a few weeks later. The 6 row plant them. Another reason we kept the 6 row. And it's a sure handy plant. We've got replants. wet spots. And small fields, it works great now. This little backfield ain't like 2 acres. It takes longer to unfold and fold the vines back up than it does a spring field wheel. On the plus side, we're getting closer to being done with corn barn now. And me and Jason was talking about, we're probably just gonna jump straight into soybean cars now. Since it's still too wet to plant. If I get like 3 good days of running, maybe 4, I can be done with all the corn barns now. That's if everything goes smooth eating bean ground. Always gotta watch your expo. Like I'll show you. So if you can see the expo up there, there's a tree limb right there. And we got that tree limb cut so we can get it now. But it's been a few years since we turned that limb. It started getting close to touching it. So that is one downside to the expo. I got a good deal on the sprayer though, that's why I got an expo. So I'm gonna head on to the house and grab some supper, have a while with the kids and whatnot. Do that parent stuff. That's what you gotta do every evening. Appreciate y'all being along today. Hope you enjoyed it. If you do, remember, like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. It's, I don't know, it's somewhere. And like always, the good Lord's willing, catch you on the flip side. Till next.